Hello everyone, it's Allison from Determined to Shine, and I'm super excited to be connecting with you today. I'm going to be doing something I haven't done in quite a while, which is play along with a hashtag making the rounds on TarotTube, and that is Hello Again Tarot. Just for a brief history of the tag, it was started several years ago by Kasia at Tarot Map, and a lot of people who were on TarotTube at the time did responses. And then Kasia just kind of re-released it and did an updated video, and then lots of people have been playing along again, either for the second time if they've been around a while, or for the first time if they're new like me. So here we go. So this is a 3-deck tag, and the first prompt is Hello Again. And this is where you show a older deck from your collection that's come back recently. And for me, right away, I knew that was the Mystical Manga Tarot. This was one of my very first decks, and I really loved it right away because I love that kind of art style. I just always have. But while I learned on this deck, I mean, this was, gosh, it's really fun to look at it because it was such a, sorry for the glare, I'm trying to avoid that. It was just such an important deck for me. It comes with this big Llewellyn guidebook, as decks do, and this got a lot of use, and I used it even with other decks. I think in a lot of ways, this is the deck I really cut my teeth on and really learned what tarot was about and got some really powerful messages. And then, of course, I started becoming a bit of a deck, I don't want to say hoarder, collector, user, lover. And so it kind of fell to the back for a while. And even though I've always still loved it, I just hadn't reached for it anytime more recently until, dun dun dun, drum roll please, it came back into favor because of the introduction of the Runes deck by the same artist. The tarot is a mass market deck, but the artist did a Kickstarter for this Runes deck that matches, and I got this deck in a while ago and I hadn't quite played with it yet, but I started working on a video of my Runes deck collection, and so I pulled this out, and then it reminded me how much I love the tarot. So more of this will be coming in a separate video. But this is the tarot, and I really love it. It delights me, and so it's been fun to say hello again to this deck, and I'm also excited to use the two decks together, which is why I have, though I kept this tuck box for now, I did decide to keep the decks together in this great bag from Peggy of Sparks Creations on Etsy, and also Superstar of Lisa Papez's channel. So it has a divider inside, so I can keep two decks in here. So on one side I have the tarot, on the other side I have the runes. May or may not lose that tuck box later, but I can keep them together on my shelf, and it makes me so happy. Yay! Okay, so that is Hello Again. The second prompt is the Getting to Know You, or Getting to Know You Better. And this is a deck that you're working with right now. So for this deck, I decided to somewhat reluctantly show you the Wildwood Tarot. This comes with, again, another big guidebook, published by, I don't think this is published by Llewellyn though. It's, yeah, Sterling Ethos. I say reluctantly because this deck is not my aesthetic, really. Even in my earthier decks, I don't know. It's not a deck I would have necessarily chosen. I ended up purchasing this because I am playing along in Pull Pen Paint this year, which is an amazing class of cards and divination and crafting and journaling and self-transformation and all kinds of magic. And it's taught by Kyla Givehand along with Kristen Radden and a whole bunch of other amazing people. And we've been kind of focusing on one element at a time in the class. And this was our chosen deck for the element of Earth. And I really resisted the deck, but I kind of thought that was a reason to dive into it a little more, particularly because if I look at myself and my elemental energies, Earth is definitely where I'm least connected. And so I've been using the deck as part of the course and then in some of my other readings, and boy, does it love to tell me the truth. And so I'm still getting to know this deck. It does use some different translations, I guess, of the both the suits, which I don't find as distracting because those are easily flippable in my head, but even the majors use some different language, and normally that's really easy for me to adapt to, like these major cards, but for some reason it's been harder for me with this deck. But it's been, I do love this card. It's been really good for me. Like I said, I've had some amazing readings. I'm gonna keep playing with it. I don't know if I'll keep it long term, but I do think there is powerful medicine in this deck for me. I also recently grabbed, sorry, had to reach for it because I wasn't planning on showing it, the Druid Plant Oracle, because it's the same illustrator and has some of kind of the same vibe. And someone in one of my tarot groups pointed out at the time, I'm not sure if it still is, it was only like $8 on Amazon. So that's in here. These cards are insane. Look how big they are. Like comparatively, I don't even know. So that's the Druid Plant Oracle. Same artist. You can see that they will play together beautifully. But yeah, so I'm still getting to know this deck, and I'm curious to see where we'll end up long term. But right now, there is medicine in this deck for me, and it has been very, very powerful. So I'm going to keep working with it. I want to edge the deck. I probably want to trim the deck. These white borders are just not doing it for me. I think I might like it better if I cut them off. But I've never done a deck trim. And despite my years of art journaling and scrapbooking, I'm like a little bit afraid of it for some reason. So there's probably something in that. So perhaps I will have a modified version to show you at some point. But for now, that is me and the Wildwood Tarot. I've been keeping this in a bag. This was made by Boho by the Ocean on Etsy. Nope, that's wrong. Sorry. The Bee and the Snake by Etsy. Or the Snake and the Bee. I think it's the Bee and the Snake. Love her bags as well. This one I might have kept in the big box just because it sort of matches the other one. I don't know. I probably would have gotten rid of it. But those of you who have been following me for a long time will remember that I have a deck that I refer to as the Dog Pee Tarot because one of my favorite puppies in the world had a little accident on the box, but not the deck. And in the case of the Wildwood Tarot, it is also known as the Dog Bite Tarot because puppy pulled it actually out of my bag that it was in and totally chewed up the box. It was completely destroyed. And you can see, if you look really closely, there's just a little dent in the top corner of the book that just goes for about 10 pages. So that actually made me really happy because I feel like he just like left his little love bite on there. But the cards were not touched at all. So excellent. Okay. One more deck for this tag. The last category or prompt is the Pleased to Meet You deck. And so this is a deck that's new to you, or either like super, super new or, you know, fairly new. So what I chose for this one is a deck that I found on Instagram and pre-ordered a little while ago, and it came in maybe almost a month ago now, but I still haven't really used it. I've only looked through it a few times, and then I chose it to bring to you here, so that was me showing. So this is actually a bag from Dawn Michelle over at Boho Tarot. She occasionally sells some of her handmade pouches, so another one. This deck came in a tuck box, which I have here just to show you. I hate tuck boxes, so I'm probably going to toss this. But the deck was really affordable, and that's part of why. So this is the Fat Folks Tarot, and it is a deck created by fat queer artists. I shouldn't say that. I'm not sure if all of the artists are queer, but essentially it's a collaborative deck. The proceeds go to a trans organization. I can't remember, Trans Lifeline, I believe. And the idea here is that all the people on the pictures are fat. And I'm going to admit, like, I just need a sidebar here. Like, that word made me so uncomfortable. And I had to really look into that because if the word skinny doesn't make me uncomfortable, which it does a little, but not a lot, like, why does fat? Like, it made me think a lot about how I think about that and what my biases might be, or why is that word that is just a descriptive word? You know, it's a size, a skinny, a fat, an average, I don't know. It should be a neutral word. And so, I don't know. But I'm just saying that as, because like I'm a very like average sized person, but I was so drawn to this deck because I talk a lot about diversity in my decks because I think everybody should be able to find themselves in a deck. And this deck felt so important when I saw it. And I think it is one of the most healing decks I've ever seen. And I found that true for me as well, because I think that it just really celebrates large bodies, and like as a result, I think everyone can find themselves in here regardless of size, because I don't know. Let's look at the cards. It's so pretty, okay? And I might show you all of these, I'm not sure, but like this deck, when I saw it, like these are like goddess women. Like, look at that high priestess. Oh my goodness. This empress, like, yeah, they went for it, right? This artist, like, look at this emperor. Here's another thing I love. I think this character is probably somewhat non-binary. It's hard to tell. And that's what I love, is like this deck just throws body size and gender and all of it like on its head. And it's not even true. It's just all here. And I am here for it. Like, look at this chariot. Magnificent. I love this strength card. The strength is one of my most favorite cards. And, oh, so gorgeous. The hermit. I love that. Look at this wheel. Look at this fierceness. Justice. So gorgeous. Hanged one. Amazing. Death. This is not my favorite death card, but I still think it's really beautiful. And the other thing I really like about this deck, look at the devil. Oh, so empowered. What I really like about this deck is that even though it's a collaborative deck, it feels to me to have like unifying characteristics. Like, so often collaborative decks just don't even look like they belong together. And yes, you can tell it's a different artist, right? But I love this card because I feel like, have we all just not been in this place? Like, just kind of like, I feel like she's just like sitting on the step. She's got her journal in her mug and like her little wand, right? Like, just kind of like my magical self chilling here, having a pause. Like, this card. As soon as I first looked through this deck, I sent a picture of this card to one of my friends, and I was like, look, it's me! Because I just feel like her energy is like so Allie energy, from like the hearts and the colors and the sunflower, like, off we go! Like, I don't know, it just felt like me. I love this. So, I think that the art is enough similar that it works, in the sense that, like, it feels like brightly colored and the color palette is the same. And I've even had collaborative decks where like one card would say wands and the next would say batons, and like one would say pentacles and one would say coins, and like it's just like way too hard to read with. Look at this beautiful, beautiful Two of Cups. Ugh. Moana, anyone? No telling how far she'll go. It's funny, right? Because the Five of Cups is often a really sad card, but like, she's just separating the ocean. Don't mind her. Yeah, I really love everything about this deck, because I guess the thing is there's no shame in the bodies in this deck, right? Like they're all empowered bodies. Some of them are very gender obvious and some of them are not. And some of them are bigger than others and some of them are hairier than others. And I just think it's important to live in a world we live in a world that doesn't all look the same. And, you know, I've said this before, like there are plenty of decks with like average sized blonde haired girls like me in them. And so I really like seeing something different. And this deck just like oozes empowerment, I really think, for in every single image. And I'm just really, really in love with it. Even, you know, the sad ones. I mean, of course, that's still going to be present. But like, look how present this woman is in her art, right? This picture reminds me of like, it has almost that like Ghibli type feel. Like I feel like this is a scene from a Ghibli movie. So yeah, I'm here for it. I think it's an amazing deck. I think it's an important deck. And I think it's really, really cool that they ran it as a nonprofit and gave away all the money to Trans Lifeline, because goodness knows we need organizations like that in the world. So this is my Pleased to Meet You deck. I am pleased to meet it. I love it. I think it is sacred. I think it is important. And I think that, I don't know, it just makes me happy. I love beautiful art and it delights me. And I can't wait to read with it and or for the first time, I guess. And I can't wait to see how it shows up when I read for others, because I think this deck will get a lot of rotation because I enjoy that, you know, everybody's here. And so, awesome. So, those are my 3 decks. And I really enjoyed doing this tag. I will link in the description box the link to Kasia's video as well as these decks. And I hope you'll check them out. As always, I hope you stick around if you liked this video, if you enjoyed the conversation, if you enjoy silliness and cards and all things artsy and divinatory. Stick around. Here at Determined to Shine, we use the magic formula of creativity, spiritual connection, and community to bring forth joy in good times and in hard times. And there's a lot of hard times right now. And I see you. I love you. Thank you for being here. And know that sometimes, you know, when you're stuck in the dark, the bright, bright day is just right around the corner. So, yeah, know that you're safe. You're loved. You are 100% enough. You are so enough. And that's all I got. Have a great one, and I will see you next time.